These guys had fight. Really a talented fighter, great overhand right, good defensive skills, but because of his problems, but unlike Tim Witherspoon, Greg Page, who always relied different than
14er wearing the white trunks. Number 7, he's been busy.
Oh, Greg Page coming out, making some wild sounds and immediately attacking the body of Tim Witherspoon.
Oh, Witherspoon in his prime was a terrific fighter. He almost upset Larry Holmes in his prime. Look at these guys, hit with a low blow. How about this opening? Ended in a hurry. Really ready. Tim Witherspoon on the other, and April.
Another low, trying to take the legs out from an opponent. But I tell you what, here comes Tim Witherspoon. That could have been the dumbest thing, Greg Page Witherspoon.
Well, Witherspoon's a guy that doesn't mind fighting in here, and all of a sudden he'll come back and throw a left hook, or he might throw a wild right hand. Oh, Tim goes down. The concept is run the North Carolina rules for this one. 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and there is a standing 8 count.
Witherspoon firing back, Colonel.
And Tim was caught. What he was caught with, because with his back to his...
As a contender and a half right from behind the jab, he's immediately jumped on Tim Witherspoon. You know, it's not a bad strategy to jump on an older fighter. Tim Witherspoon's lost his last 4.
Don't forget, this guy, great
fight against Bone Crusher Smith. Tim Witherspoon really quit in that first round.
Well, he certainly did, but he didn't quit in his fight against Larry Holmes. And I went over to Europe and saw him fight over there in London, England. He got the title back. Oh, he caught Greg again. Nice left hook. They're still throwing after the bell. No, I know. We're back.
Witherspoon misses with the left hook. I don't know. I didn't even see much of it.
John, as far as I'm concerned, these guys are 2 former world champs, and they want it bad. Look at Page unload.
Really setting down. You saw fans crossed arms that he used up.
Witherspoon, one of the best to cross that right hand over, and then all of a sudden come back. Well, you mentioned in the last fight that it's probably not a bad idea to take the legs away early. 10 rounds, and these are 3 walls in
the usually fast pace. Not just
the lowest fight was enough to win a few rounds more than Holyfield did.
Tim Witherspoon's got that's his reputation from the outside. Lead right hand by Page, followed by the
hands. Michael Dokes, and they wanted to have a big fight in South Africa, and it was at a time when
their careers really went downhill. Witherspoon, of course, got a shot after losing to Pinklon Thomas.
These two, you go about 10 years prior to that, like the big guys like that.
But they were connected to the same promoter. They saw what
championship fighter 15 years ago for more action than you're seeing to this. This Legends thing is it got a bit. Tim can be hit some for his run. And Bill, a good referee, but 2 big heavyweights to deal with there. People used
to, of course, had him put the gloves back. Let's see if he throws that overhand right that he's famous for. We haven't seen much of that.
There it was right there, John. Just as you talked about it, he threw it as the uppercut with the shots. It took a pretty good right hand that time. Tim answered with a pretty good right hand of his own. Digs to the body of Tim. Bangs him with a left hook. Straight right hand. Another right hand. Look at this. Page throwing punches. Body in shape. And he's had all those 97. 4 times in 98. 3 fights this year, John. I mean, when you keep your body conditioned and you keep
over his weight when he was in his prime. And when you got 4
in the 3rd round, this fight can have this pace and keep that pace. I mean, it's just extraordinary how hard they're working right now.
Explosion series with Art Pendergrass. Loss is different than fighting a guy like
Ring 2 former world heavyweight champs.
Parallel careers in a lot of different ways. In addition, having fought for Don King for many years, they both lost their first heavyweight championship.
Interesting parallel, but you've got to keep those hands up there. If he doesn't drill, John, I'm sure. When he does that, is go downstairs.
Jorge Luis
got his 2nd career when he fought Muhammad Ali. No chance to win, and all of a sudden after 4 rounds, hey, I can beat this guy. And Tim just really boxed against one of the great champions of all time. Tim get
the referee
control because these guys could get out of control very quickly, these 2 big guys.
You see Page using the double jab and then following up with the left hook to the body.
And how about Page up on his toes?
Down a little arm defense. There goes the clubbing overhand right.
Those closing seconds of all time, Larry Holmes. Many people, including myself, think that this is absolutely one of the finest fighters that ever lived.
Well, you can make the case that Larry Holmes, I think, belongs among the top 5 heavyweights of all time. Really showed the heart, the grit, the desire.
You can hear the crowd kind of whooping and hollering.
Look at the arms on that guy.
built kind of like George Foreman now, where he yesterday at the press conference. Well, did you chop wood to trade? He says, I chopped so much 35. And again, our scoring is just to try to. We see the fights. We see a lot pointed in the right direction. Hip of Greg Page thrown by Tim Witherspoon. Is it
Witherspoon trying to fight this fight?
That is not. You know, he's heavy in the chest. That's his body style. More respect. He said after the
weight and the pace. First couple of
back in champs. Tim Witherspoon, former two-time champ, bangs to the body back.
When he's getting close enough, Page then trying to
hitting him with. There's plenty of action in between the grabbing on here. And again, I go back to the fact Tim Witherspoon
forgets it. One shot. I don't think it's going to work here tonight for him.
Ahead in the first round, right back up, but he had. But nonetheless, it's a 10-8 round. And with that, the right hand behind it. You know what he does? He comes inside, he covers up, he works with the body here.
Around his belly area. But you're right, he's got and then go upstairs.
Right behind him. And he bangs the body again. Greg Page. Inside, moves a little bit. And this is what Greg said
working as a trainer helped him on the outside to then go in.
What he was teaching the past couple of years. And after all, these are professionals, and that's what it's all about. Page trying to work on Witherspoon. He catches him with hooks, bends him over. Tim across to Tim's corner. They're trying to quit. And
downstairs. And starting with Levi Billy, he lost the 2-round decisions to Jimmy Thunder and Andrew Galata. 4 left. And he's a dangerous fighter. You know what? I'm going to box this.
On plenty of action. It hasn't slowed down. This has been a very interesting fight.
Legs are all but outside. We're trying to take Tim Witherspoon out of the fight immediately.
Witherspoon is a grand.
That back foot to get up right now.
Outside, but that's all right. No, I don't think he's
not fighting him the way, you know, if he knew that.
Last round, but that was one of those post.
5 seconds.
Well, this is definitely a pay-over. You see him load up that right hand.
Yep.
And he cut Greg. He didn't get.
Fight is over. Greg Page has won.
It's all over. Greg Page has won. Failure to come out for the 8th round.